Okay, good evening and welcome to the September 13th meeting of the Newmarket Conservation Commission. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start with roll call, Sue.
Patrick Reynolds.
Present.
Chris Blackstone.
Here.
Sam Kenny.
Here.
Mary Ann Hannigan.
Present.
Sarah Fitch.
Present.
Okay, so we have some members of the public. Are you here on separate matters or on the same? Okay, why don't you come forward to the microphone and tell us who you are and what you're here regarding.
Sure. My name is Bob Stoll. I'm with Tritech Engineering, representing Eric Labonte, and we had filed, as we spoke a couple of days ago, a state of New Hampshire dredge fill application on behalf of Mr. Labonte to impact the tidal buffer zone. We don't have wetland impact. We don't have any impacts to Newmarket zoning, but we do have impact to the tidal buffer zone. Within 100 feet of tidal water, the highest observable tide line, the hotel line, the state of New Hampshire regulates as a dredge fill permit, any disturbance within that area. So we had worked with Mr. Labonte a few years back on a shoreline permit so that he could get his house under construction, and it became recently clear that he wanted to do the solar panels rather than, he has a long right-of-way, rather than extend power down. I think it's almost a half a mile of right-of-way that he'd have to extend power down. He's opting to install solar panels with a propane generator backup system. So, working with the solar company, we determined what the optimum location for the panels were, and it does extend out into the tidal buffer zone. The applicant met had a pre-application meeting with DES to discuss the application, and was encouraged by the reception there. So we proceeded forward with the full application that you have here.
I'm just going to stop I have the packet here, so I'm just going to pass it down. I did forward it in an email to other members, but I just want people to know where the location is of the property.
I've got a plan. Can I come up and maybe that would work better?
You can do that as well.
Some visuals here. To mount this, but everybody can see. This is out on New Road, and it's New Road. It's way down by the water, but it's like I said, this is his driveway in. But this driveway it's a kind of security scoop out to New Road. It's about a half a mile through a private right-of-way down to where he's got his house built. And again, this is the plan that we used in our shoreline permitting, and we have all the relative information on here. We have the highest observable tide line marked. We've got the appropriate setbacks that we needed. The shoreline permit built off that same line as far as the 50 foot, the 150 foot, and the 100 and the 150. Your local 125 foot setback for the primary structure was based off that as well. So that's the line we built from there, and he's been under construction, and it's getting to that stage where he wants to get moved in there, and this power thing needs to be addressed. So what we're working with here is, again, from the highest observable tide line, the hotel line there, under the shoreline protection for an accessory structure that we talked to Mike Hoffman about. This would be considered an accessory structure. What we're talking about here is this gray area would be a concrete pad that he'd mount his solar panels on. The brown area here is the temporary disturbance that would be restored when it's done. So it's a what is it? It's a 10 by 40. So
if I could be part of it again, just
sure.
add just a couple quick things.
Sure.
The first one, not only the solar guys are about as good as they get. His main solar Floyd, he's been doing this forever from Arizona and stuff. Not only is it the place to put it, it's the only place to put it. This lot, there's 65 to 85 foot trees behind it, not on my property, if I have to buy that land and cut them, I will. But I don't want to. I live there, we have quite a bit of dirt down there, and I like it the way it is. And the other thing was, I knew I was gonna forget, should have wrote notes. There was one other thing that was screwed. Oh, this is not one of these, and take it as it is. This isn't one of the goofy sun chases. I was going to do that. I asked this gentleman why I didn't want to do that. He explained many reasons, but it will be less impactful to the eye if I do what he is suggesting to not only myself, but everyone. It's gonna be not way up in the air and really goony. If you see these things, because I wasn't into it, I wanted to put them on my roof. I can't. The house runs, it doesn't run properly. This is gonna be a wholly solar home. He's, from what I gather with the gentleman that has done it, the generator may run for an hour a month. That's how well done this is.
Before we get too far,
Yeah.
I think you guys need to move back only so that the public, if they want to follow along the conversation, it's actually televised. They can't hear you. So
That's what
I
wanted
think,
to say before I forgot.
right.
It doesn't, and if you saw it, it's just, it should be a pretty piece of it.
Okay.
No one will see it anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so that as Mr. Labonte has highlighted are the solar considerations, and again, this was the optimum location. What we worked on was working within as many of the setbacks as we could. Under the shoreline protection in overlay district in Newmarket, there's a 20-foot accessory structure setback. We're 25 feet is what we've proposed. The state shoreline protection mimics that and has a 20-foot accessory structure setback as well. And the controlling factor ended up being there's also along that tidal line, there is some poorly drained wetlands there that comes with that, the 25-foot no disturbance setback. So those are the ones that we're able to work within. So we've limited the question down to the impact to the again, the tidal buffer zone. A lot of times when we deal with these, it's a matter of cutting trees and the concern that you're losing buffer there. This is an area that the trees there was actually a storm several years back that wiped out most of the trees on the site there, and so it's a cleared area at that location as it is, and that was documented in our shoreland application back when he started construction on the project. So again, it's an area it's kind of an overgrown field type scenario there now that we're asking to come in, temporarily clear things, get in there, place that pad, place the panels, and then we restore the majority of it where there's a permanent impact of 400 square feet. So that's what we've done. We've documented in the application here the items that are required for the state application. Again, that there's quite a bit to it. I think one of the things that we highlighted in the application to the state was, again, the benefit of the solar power and the benefit of not again coming through the private right-of-way of a half mile of power poles and the necessary clearing and the impacts that would be generated along with that process. So we think it's something, again, based on our experience with DES and a pre-application meeting, we think it's something that DES will look on favorably, and we know that you guys have your comment period, and we just wanted to come and see if there were questions that we could answer while you're in that process.
Is there anything else before I turn it over to questions that you want to?
No, I think that's what we've got to say.
Questions?
Yeah, quick reminder, what's the maker or the brand or the company of your solar
Main
arrays?
Solar.
M-A-I-N-E?
Main Solar, yeah.
Oh.
I have his phone number.
No, that's okay, I just
He's
didn't
a
hear
hunter.
what you
The
said
guy's
at
a
the beginning.
gentleman. If someone around here, to be really candid, I know we're on TV, but I've been chasing this for 2 years, and this is the only guy that knew what he was talking about. He comes from Arizona, he's been doing it for 30 or 40 years, and the guy tells you the way it is. And that's kind of what you need. I'm counting on this electricity. He told me I'd never call him back again, unhappy. And with other people's ideas, they weren't going to work. The house is even wired different than anybody else's house. There's a battery. It's quite costly. It's not cheap. It's about 40 grand to do what I've done, what I'm going to do. But I'll never get an electric bill. And this stuff is all the right stuff. And again, no poles, no transformers. Even if I put it underground, it was not. It's not the right thing to do. You guys know that. So hopefully it'll all pan out. But it's Maine Solar. He's up near Augusta. I've driven up to his home. He has a huge house with a huge garage and a business. And he has basically what I have there up on a rock. He thinks they're so beautiful. There's a big piece of ledge in his backyard. And he has it up on there. I didn't care for it. But that's how into this gentleman is. And he is a gentleman. He's an awful nice fellow. He just is kind of guy you want to deal with. Yeah, kind of like Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else have questions?
How thick will a concrete pad be?
It's a 6-inch pad.
Some people don't do that, but for some reason people
Oh,
want
you need
that.
to come up. You need to come up to the microphone. They can't hear you.
You can't hear down there.
Some people put
You'll have
blocks.
to step over.
Some people put blocks in instead of doing it that way. The proper way is to do it the way that he's asked me to do it, and I don't really want to alter what the guy wanted to do. So he wanted that because I was hesitant also. It sounded like something 10 by 40, you know, but that's what the guy wanted. I said, geez, I really don't want to do that. And that's what he wanted. In fact, I tried to make him put the solar panels on the roof, and he explained to me why you don't do that. Also, and this is the reason, and I'll tell you what the reason is behind it. These solar panels, you see these guys throwing them around and stuff, they don't like that. They break. You're not supposed to bend them and flex them. They can't handle that. It ruins them. So when you see a guy throwing those panels up and messing around with them, they're no good. So they're going to be mounted with some, foundation.
How tall are they going to be?
I believe he said 12 feet. They're 3 feet off the ground and they're straight up and down almost, which no one does that. They're all laying back and on it. But this is what he does. They cook themselves if you lay them down like that, supposedly. They actually burn themselves out. They're supposed to be put the way they're supposed to be put, and that's what it is.
So will it be visible from the water if I was out on the bay?
No. In the winter possibly, but the way that there's trees that wrap. I never cut a tree down there, and there's some that are laying right down, and even when I take those out, it's wrapped by 2 rows of trees out front, then 100 feet back. There's more. That's why I put them that's why when they said that they went there, I said it was perfect. It just works.
And
It works nicely.
and we're on the title there, but we're in on the creek. We're not out on the bay portion where Willie Creek comes up there. Is that the name of it? Now that I say that, Winkley. I apologize, Winkley Creek.
Yeah, but you can still paddle by that area for sure on a kayak.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely.
And the main channel is not right there. I don't think right in front of you.
Yeah, it is.
So is it? So it is.
But
So
again,
Is it?
as Buck,
Yeah.
it is. The channel's pretty close to right there. But this thing is, it's,
For reference,
yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, the bay is out here.
That's right. Yeah.
okay.
This
So it's
thing
not
is-
facing towards the bay.
This is a little creek that comes in.
That's Winkley Creek. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. No, you-
All right.
It took me a little while to figure that out.
Me too, when I lived there sometimes.
So is that structure we see in the photograph and the materials you submitted, is that a house that you've already built out there? Okay.
Yeah,
It's been under construction for about 2 years. I started in May 13, 2 years ago. And it's done. Cute little house, little tiny thing, and it's nice. I like it.
I'm glad you like your house.
Now I gotta be able to live in it, and I can't. I can't do it, and I need to. I live in Exeter and I really hate it. I've been there 35 years. And this is family property, something my father started before he died. I got it done. To this point.
And Bob, to clarify, it's outside of the wetland area itself. It's just within the tidal buffer zone.
Correct. It's outside of the wetland area, and it's outside of your poorly drained wetland setback as well.
Any other questions?
Sure, one, what's your ask of us?
Just, again, to make sure that you guys get the notification from the state that we filed the application, and they give you a 40-day comment period. And if you're going to comment, I just want to make sure you commented with the facts. If you want to comment favorably, great. If you know, whatever your normal process is. We just want to make sure you knew what we were doing.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
If there are no further questions, thank you for coming.
Okay.
Appreciate all the information.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Could you just, go on for a moment and tell me who you heard from?
So we heard from
Ian?
Bob Stoll, and let me.
I meant people that have the contact.
Oh, that aren't going to be attending. Yes, we heard from Casey Finch, who will be absent, and we heard from Anne LaFortune. I did not hear from Andrea. So. Okay. Now we can proceed to approval from minutes from the meeting on August 16th. And I had one amendment on those minutes that I saw tonight when I was reading them. The permit or the application we received for Shanda Park from Patty Marston from Newmarket Community Church, that's actually for this Sunday, September 16th, not October 16th. And she did turn in the permit with the accurate date on it. So
Well, that's the wedding, not the wedding, that's the barbecue. or
that's the lobster
fest,
the
yeah.
lobster fest.
And I put that down as Sunday, September 16th in the minutes. The one above it was for the wedding.
Oh, I thought I saw October 16th in there.
No, I'm looking right at it.
Okay. I'd take your word for it, Sue. I just thought that's what I saw.
And I hope I spelled Candace's name right. Forgive me. I did. That's for the wedding on the 6th, from 1:45 to 2:30. And then the community lobster bake is Sunday, September 16th at 11.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay. And that's it. That I don't have anything else. Does anyone else have anything on the minutes? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Abstain. I wasn't here.
Okay, so it's 3-0.
Abstain as well.
Right, okay, 302.
So, treasurer's report. We have neither a treasurer nor a report because we are still waiting on the town software, I guess, to be updated and to get us new financial reports. So I don't have a financial report to share with you, and I don't have Ann here to provide any other kind of reporting for us. I don't believe we had any expenditures that we approved last time, though. So we shouldn't have anything outstanding there. Committee and subcommittee reports. Town council, we don't have Casey here, but I do have something that he sent me an email on regarding the gate at Heron Point. Greg Marlis, the facilities director, informed him that the contractor will be out, would have been out today, since he sent this last night to me, to begin measurement and work on the meter. We don't have a concrete time frame yet, but once this electrical part is completed, we should get it done pretty quickly after that, because I think that's the major, holding point of the project. So that's good. I don't have anything else from Casey, planning board.
So the only item that might be of interest to the Conservation Commission is a preliminary conceptual consultation that we reviewed on Tuesday. There's a 12.8 acre parcel on 77 Hershey Lane off of, it's a class 6 road. So they came to us looking for some feedback on a site that they're looking to build, either single-family homes or duplexes. It sounds like they're leaning toward duplexes, and it's in the middle of 2 pieces of conservation land. So our recommendation was to maintain part of that lot that they're looking to develop on and keep that as conservation land, so it connects the existing conservation land. That's the only thing.
I don't think I really. You're obviously nearby there.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of it.
Okay. What 2 pieces of conservation land would that be, Drew? Do you know?
Well, I think
There's the
one of
plan.
them would be the conservation land associated with the development sort of at the bottom of the hill there, because I know that goes across.
Oh, okay. I think I do
across,
know where you're talking about now.
Durrell in that area.
It's sort of called open space on the map or something like that when you see
Yep.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure about the other one.
Okay. All right. I might just get a map out and see if I can figure that one out.
So it was a conceptual, so your recommendation
Yeah.
during the conceptual is to keep it contiguous somehow.
Correct, yeah. And it sounded like they were leaning toward duplexes rather than the single-family homes, or the, I think, like 4 homes connected type of thing. It's all single-family, that's what they're hoping to build, but
And which way would they be connecting the road, right? Because the road runs through, but I'm assuming they would connect at only
Yeah.
one end, not both ends.
yes, yeah. I can't recall off the top of my
Okay.
head, but that was discussed. And that would depend, I believe, on whether they decided to build the single-family homes or the duplexes.
Wish I could see on a map where it was.
I know I should have brought them out.
Can't picture it.
Yeah. There's a farm behind it, like way behind. I think that's where the town water is located.
The
as well.
McIntosh well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay, I think I know where.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That is interesting to hear. So we'll have to follow that development. How many units would they put back there? They're not at that phase yet, probably.
They couldn't get into specifics, but it sounded like 13.
Wow.
I know.
Wonder if it's up behind the golf course coming up more towards Jersey Lane that way. Guess we'll find out.
the next thing I had is, it's Shopmire Park, but it actually should say Shanda Park, because we talked about this last time, and Casey's not here, so we don't have any update, but the idea to update Drew wasn't here, is that we would pull together a subcommittee, including people from town council, to look at an overall plan for Shanda Park based on the amount of maintenance, the possibility of maybe even needing CIP funds or something like that, and also in consideration probably with any other plans they have for, in general, the waterfront area. So that might also include the, they're considering the dam. This might be a good time to scoop up all of these things at the same time. So, and Casey thought that was a good idea, and he was going to take that back to the town council, but I really don't have any update on where that was at. But that is actually what I meant to refer to there, and instead I put Shopmire Park. Chairman's report. So the only item I have on the chairman's report is the annual Conservation Commission conference. We talked about this at the last meeting, and Chris is interested in going, and I am interested in going. It's on Saturday, November 3rd. Is that
Correct.
the date?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the past policy was, but my thought was that if anyone wanted to go, that we would be willing to pay for them to attend. Does
Yeah,
that sound
Historically,
appropriate?
the Conservation Commission has reimbursed for registration fees for anyone who wants to go to any of those conferences.
Okay. So I'll look into that then. So it sounds like we'd have to register on our own and then submit to get reimbursed through Anne as the treasurer or something like that.
Is that the way you wanna do it?
Well, I can check, but that may be the way we have to do it.
That's fine.
If that's okay with you.
No,
Is
that's
there
okay.
anyone else?
I might want to go.
Marion?
I was just taking a picture.
Okay, if you
You
want to,
can take that one.
yeah, if you want to go, just email us and let us know you're going. Maybe we could even look at carpooling if the three of us were all going to go, depending on what people's plans are. But I think that's a great thing. If we can go, I think we'll learn a lot and get a chance to meet some other people.
Yeah, it really shows.
That's-
It's a full day.
Yep.
Looks great.
Although it's, as Chris pointed out, it starts at 10:15, so it's not too difficult for people who aren't
That's a
early
nice
weekend risers. And it's in Pembroke, right? So it might
It's
be
not far.
not too far.
I did put the link in the minutes from last time so that you might be able to register online.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. So,
So new development, I'll just register myself, and then we'll figure out later if we're gonna have to carpool.
yeah, we can
And then I'll save the
chat
info
by
and-
email about carpooling, but
Okay.
yeah, and even if after you register and you want to just send it along and copy Anne, we can even have them submitted right then and there to her and see if she can get them taken care of.
Okay.
Okay. Drew, you're here, so we have Dearborn Property Survey on there, and I have not done anything to follow up on that.
And yeah, so I sent an email to Scott Boudreau a while ago, and I haven't heard anything. So yeah, I need to give him a call.
Okay.
So
All
there's
right.
still no action there.
Okay. Did you all see the email I sent you on the Heron Point Sanctuary sign?
I did.
So we talked about this last time with reopening the park with the new gate. The idea was just to have a better sign that looks more like the signs that we have around town now. And talked to Mike Hoffman, and he could take care of that. It would be around $395, I believe, is what he said would be the price for that. And we just think it would look much better. The sign is not very attractive out there. So, anyone have any thoughts on that?
It's a good idea.
consistency would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right, because there is one other sign, I think, it's
Yeah.
already out there that looks like that, so.
Thank you.
All right. And I don't,
Vote on the.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you need a motion for?
yeah, I
expenditure?
think we should have a motion just to be on that.
So was that number again? 390?
395 is what I had for Mike.
So I'll make a motion that the Conservation Commission expend an amount not to exceed $450 for a new sign for Heron Point Sanctuary.
Second.
All in favor?
Am I allowed to abstain, not having full knowledge of the details? Aye.
You want a new sign?
I like signs.
Okay. Shopmire Park. So, this is as much a public service, hopefully, as anything. It's great that people are going out to the new park and they're using it. And the one issue that we've had a little bit out there is that there are granite markers indicating the boundary of the park, which I believe would be the north side of the park, the northern boundary, and people understandably are going out there for the first time might not know that they're not supposed to go beyond that boundary. And also there's also a driveway that's right next to the driveway entrance to the park parking lot, and some people have made the mistake of driving down the private residence driveway.
Confess.
So, one thing that the Shopmire Park subcommittee or committee is looking at doing is putting in some fencing that will actually be between the granite markers more down by the river, because that's where the issue is arising, it sounds like. I did tell the property owner, the abutter there, that he's, he certainly can post his property and let people know. I think he's in favor of the fence, so I know that they're looking to get quotes on putting some fencing up. So that sounds like what that solution is, but I just wanted to share that with people that that it's a great new place, and I'm glad people are using it, but we do have there's a private property right next door that we need to respect. And it's also indicated on the signage that's down at the park. The boundary of the park is shown on the sign, so you can follow along that way. Other than that, I think everything's going well down there. The dock is in, I believe.
Nice.
So, that's what I thought I heard. And the only other update I know is that they are beyond the boundary of the fence boundary issue. They're working to resolve that, and they will be working also on a management plan as far as getting that in place. So hopefully we'll be seeing that soon. But that's kind of the next step that needs to happen, just as a reminder. And that the town has expressed interest in providing, I think, a lot of the day-to-day care of the park, the mowing, the taking in and out of the dock. So that's good too. I have no problem or difficulty with that. I think the management plan is the key next step that has to happen, so that it's clearly set out what the responsibilities are.
Weren't they looking still for somebody from the Conservation Commission to join?
I volunteered,
Oh,
and
did
I
you?
sent them an email because nobody else volunteered at the last meeting. So I volunteered. I sent them an email, but they don't have a plan.
Okay.
meeting right now, so I did ask Jeff if there was anything. I talked to Jeff Goldknopf, who was formerly the Conservation Commission representative, who's continued to serve on the committee just as a citizen, and I said if he finds out anything, if he could let me know. So I don't really have any other update other than that. It's just the boundary thing was the only real issue that I wanted to get to.
So Chris, as someone who has made the wrong turn, is there a way we could improve the signage to?
I don't.
And I'm not necessarily looking for an answer now, but you know what I mean. You know, kind of think about that. And if there is a way to improve the signage, then we should try to do that.
Yeah. Off the top of my head in cold turkey like that, I'd have to say I don't know, because I know when I was going in there, what was going on was also really interesting, because there must have been probably 15 buzzardy birds drafting along, and so I was just like blissfully, driving and looking and loving life, and then realized car links into it what I had done. But it's even a bit goofy when you're driving on 108. There's a lovely little sign that says there, Shopmeyer Park, and you pull there, and right there is the house. There's a house, and that's kind of a funny driveway too. So something could maybe be done, but I'm not sure what right now, because it's kind of splayed kind of way. And just before that, with that thrift store and church and stuff, that's also kind of funny. So there can be people going into the thrift store. It'll all maybe settle down once the American American pavement or whatever, once that's all done and all the workers are done, because there's also a couple of cars parked quite often between the park sign, the nice granite pillar for the flag, depending on where the flaggers are. Although I read now that there's not going to be flaggers, it's only going to be the actual stop sign until next year or whatever.
Flag, that's the other thing. They're going to put a flagpole at the park. They did share that with me.
Oh,
I
how
got
is that going to be properly illuminated or not illuminated, or is it going to have a solar light on
I
it?
don't know. But those are questions that they'll have to
Oh, they have to
address.
grapple with a lot,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that is a good question. I'll think about it and send an email to somebody, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Maybe next time I don't confess things on TV.
No, it's good, right? I mean, hey, look, we all make mistakes. A wise old coworker once told me the only person who doesn't make a mistake is the person who does nothing.
The guy doing nothing, that's right.
So, it happens. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. I was actually kind of impressed how teeny the little sign is in the first place to get in there. It's really handsome, but it's a small little guy. I expected maybe more of a park sign. I guess it's nice that it's not. It's really handsome, but it's small.
Okay. I did want to return to one thing. We didn't really get a good chance to introduce Sam publicly. So
Oh,
Sam
good point.
Kenny is our newest full member of the Conservation Commission. We're very happy to have him joining us. He comes with a background in environmental engineering, so it's going to be a great resource for us. We definitely can use that technical know-how, and I just really appreciate you volunteering to do this.
Fantastic.
It's great. So we're really happy to have you on board.
Welcome aboard.
And the only other thing is, the reason I put Shanda Park on there was that I did get the permit, the actual paper permit copy from Newmarket Community Church, which they hadn't provided last time, but I did get it. So
Well, that was in a provisional, we voted
voted
conditionally
provisionally,
or
so I just wanted to
provisionally,
follow up and let you know I got the actual copy.
Yeah.
It's all set. So I hope the lobster bake is a big success. It's a good event. This Sunday. Rain or shine, I think. So.
Lobsters don't care.
Or they won't care. Poor lobsters.
And that's all I had, unless anyone.
Yeah,
Drew
I did
has
have
something.
one other thing, just that the fall is coming, and therefore we should start thinking about the easement monitoring for the various properties.
Well, that was a great email to get. I don't know who all was involved. Was that all you that
So-
got all that together for us or collated all
We
that?
did talk about that
Score.
at the last meeting, and
Yeah, that was really
Sue
nicely done, the way it even said what to, oh,
attached a list that we had of all of the properties
Yeah.
to review.
Contacts and all that
And
stuff.
also
Yeah.
what to wear,
yeah, that was really well done.
the snack, the water, the camera, the boundary signs
Signs.
and nails, the saw and the hand clippers, blank paper and Ziploc bag for your notes.
You don't have to read the whole thing, Sue.
It was just so well done. It was a joy to read, I thought. Short of passport, like, wow, I'm ready.
And I think we also have a spreadsheet of them, so I will send it out to everybody just so you have a copy of it. But you're right. But I think we might still be a little bit early. I don't know what people think about going out right now in the next 4 weeks.
For the uninitiated, what responsibilities do we have with these ones?
So there are, I think it's 5 properties that we perform yearly or annual easement monitoring visits. So we walk the property generally around the boundary, make note of any significant changes. If there's any sort of encroachment or violation of the easement, we make note of it and then address as needed. In general, they're really nice walks in the woods. For example, we've had neighboring or abutting properties that have had trees fall onto their property and cut them, and then maybe cut some other trees on the conserved property. So we've sent letters to say, hey, you can cut whatever falls on your property, but you really can't cut anything that's on our property. And we're going to try and make sure that it's clear where the boundary is. We really have been fortunate as far as not having egregious easement violations. So yeah, in general, it's a series of nice walks in the woods.
Yeah, sounds great. Sign me up.
There's what, well, we have Smith Sisters, we have to send a report to Audubon. Is there any other, I
Yeah,
know
well, I think 4 out of the 5
4 out of the 5,
require reports to external sources that were funders of the conservation property.
and one of the properties, the Hilton property, we actually contract that out with SELT, Southeast Land Trust, who does easement monitoring they monitor that property. And then the state actually does a monitoring of the Wigan Farm property, is that right?
Yep.
We don't actually usually do anything on that.
No. We're welcome to join them if
Yeah.
so desired.
Actually, that does bring up one other monitoring issue. We are due to monitor the Rosa gravel pit this year, since the last monitoring was in
okay.
2015. So I would follow up with Diane Hardy about that, because I think that's who we worked with in the past in the town office.
I think that's correct.
It's currently for sale. The Roses are selling it, but I think we should still plan to do that. I believe that monitoring visit is usually occurred during business hours, so it does require like during a weekday, because they are there, they're running their business, and we come and look. And primarily it's a review of the site to look, because it's the only site that falls under town oversight. Is that the best way to describe it? Yeah. There's three or four pits out there, and it's the only one that, because of when it was started, and they actively both take materials out and receive materials. So we're looking at both ends. We're looking at to make sure that it's not going down too low. It's supposed to stay above the water table, and also just to look and see what's being dumped there. I will follow up with that. So yeah, you're right though, we should start thinking about doing those. I for one, like, prefer it once it gets a little colder,
Mosquitoes.
a little drier,
I agree.
a little less tick activity and mosquitoes, poison ivy, et cetera, all the wonderful things you can encounter.
Earlier you said, yeah, that sounds great. I mean, want it all.
Let's let
Tell me.
Sam do 'em.
Sign me up.
I'm still not opposed.
No, it's fun. Anything else, Drew?
Nope.
Anyone else? All right. Motion to end the meeting?
Motion to end the meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Sweet.
I know, I remember that.